Why support the criminalization of marijuana is the better question.
The war against marijuana causes so much hardship and accomplishes nothing.
The federal drug war has failed, so we should reject it.
The war on drugs is a total failure, and it's created a monster of a problem for us.
We didn't even have a federal law up until 1937.
And they did it through high taxation because they knew they didn't have authority to say that you're not allowed to smoke marijuana.
And when you look back and throughout history and what happened to that, that was a total disaster. It created the Al Capone.
Prohibition didn't work. Prohibition on drugs doesn't work.
There's so much violence today, not because people use drugs, but because they're illegal. You know the people who benefit the most by all these laws? These are the drug cartels. They lobby to keep these laws in place because they can't exist without them.
Spent over $400 billion since the early 70s, and it's a wasted money.
And we spend hundreds of billions of dollars
in a very unsuccessful attempt to regulate drugs.
Prohibition is absurd.
I want to go back to the constitutional approach to a problem like this, and that is through the states.
I would get the government out of regulating all those substances, and I would allow the states to deal with the problem.
To regulate it like they would alcohol. And I'm motivated strongly also because the states legalize it for the use of medicinal purposes, and it is helpful.
Today, it's gone berserk. The federal government comes in and overrules a state that has legalized marijuana to be used for very sick people.
What about a sick person dying with cancer goes out and uses marijuana when it was legalized in a particular state like California, and the feds come in and arrest them?
The federal government comes in and says, we don't care about the state law. And they just override and they put people into prison for this.
Puts people in prison that are sick.
I mean, there's so much violation there of common decency and the Constitution.
It's sort of like saying, I believe in the First Amendment. Oh, that means you're pro-pornography or something like that. It's ridiculous. You know, permitting something to happen doesn't mean that you authorize it or endorse it.
Drugs are very dangerous, but there's a lot of things that's very dangerous. The question is who should regulate danger? Should we assume responsibility for ourselves, or should the government take care of us?
I think when you defend freedom, you defend freedom of choice, and you can't be picking and choosing how people use those freedoms. I can reject it personally and preach against it, whether it's drugs or prostitution, but my solution comes from my personal behavior with myself and how I raise my children.
Putting people in prison that should be treated as sick people. They shouldn't be treated as criminals. We treat alcoholics. What if we put all our alcoholics in prison?
Putting you in prison for about 5 years, do you think that would have helped you? Would that have cured you?
It's a disease. We don't treat alcoholics like this. This is a disease, and we should orient ourselves to this.
You shouldn't be a criminal because you have a problem with drugs.
And if you're looking for this so-called gateway drug, the most addicting drug, it is claimed by many scientists, it's nicotine. That's more addictive than marijuana, and it kills more people.
And nobody talks about nicotine being a gateway drug, so there's no sense to that.
How many cases of drug addictions were prevented by the law?
I don't advocate giving marijuana to 10-year-olds walking in the store, but the kids now can get more marijuana with all these laws easier than they can get alcohol.
I believe those rules should protect children who are below the age of making good judgments. So I have no problem with state laws that would protect children from the use of these drugs.
Actually, I'm optimistic about this. I think this country is going to wake up like they did in the 30s. It's about time we just do this. Get rid of the prohibition. Let the regulation go back to the state.
We don't have to have more courts and more prisons. We need to repeal the whole war on drugs. It isn't working.